Imagine being chosen to spend the night with the most powerful man in the empire, but instead of romance, your evening begins with silence, supervision, and a strict checklist overseen by guards and officials. No privacy, no personal choice, and no room for error. Welcome to the hidden world of the Imperial Harem inside the Forbidden City, a place where beauty, power, and danger intertwined in the heart of ancient China's royal palaces. Hey, history lovers! Welcome to Empress Secrets, your go-to channel for uncovering the untold stories of women who shaped empires. If you're fascinated by the mysteries of the past, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Empress Secrets for more captivating tales. These women navigated a world of rules and risks with incredible resilience, and their stories inspire us to face our own challenges with courage. Let's dive into the secrets of the Imperial Harem. Trust me, you won't want to miss this journey. Deep within the heart of ancient China, the Forbidden City stood as the ultimate symbol of imperial power. This sprawling palace complex, home to emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties, was a world unto itself, guarded, secretive, and steeped in tradition. At its core was the Imperial Harem, a place where beauty was both a privilege and a burden, and where every moment was governed by centuries-old rituals. The emperor's bedroom, far from being a private sanctuary, was one of the most tightly controlled spaces in the empire. It wasn't a place of indulgence or freedom, but a stage for political maneuvering, ritualistic precision, and constant surveillance. The women of the harem, concubines, consorts, and empresses, lived under the weight of tradition, their every move watched by palace officials and eunuchs. Contrary to popular imagination, the harem was not a carefree world of luxury. It was a complex system where intimacy was orchestrated, loyalty was tested, and betrayal was always a looming threat. These women used their wit and resilience to survive, their stories reminding us that even in the most challenging circumstances, the human spirit can shine. Every evening in the Forbidden City followed a sacred routine. After the emperor completed his state duties and dined, he returned to his private chambers. Waiting for him was a ceremonial tray, a simple yet profoundly symbolic object. Presented by the chief eunuch, this tray held multiple jade plaques, each inscribed with the name of a concubine or consort from the imperial harem. This wasn't a casual offering. The arrangement of the plaques was a calculated act, often influenced by powerful figures within the palace. Trusted eunuchs, court advisors, or even the Empress Dowager could subtly manipulate the order of the names to promote certain women. These manipulations served political purposes, strengthening alliances, elevating favored families, or maintaining balance among rival factions. While the emperor appeared to choose freely, flipping a plaque with casual interest, the decision was often shaped by these unseen hands. Once a plaque was selected, the chosen concubine was informed, and a highly organized process began. The woman was prepared with meticulous care, her body bathed in water infused with rare herbs and oils believed to purify and enhance fertility. These baths were not just about hygiene. They were spiritual rituals meant to ward off bad fortune and prepare her to serve the emperor. Attendants dressed her in a single silk robe, often embroidered with symbols of luck, harmony, or fertility. Her hair was combed, her skin powdered, and her appearance perfected to meet the emperor's expectations. The concubine's journey to the emperor's chamber was a spectacle of control. She was placed on a silk-covered stretcher, carried not by ordinary servants, but by trusted eunuchs loyal only to the throne. These men escorted her silently through the dark, winding corridors of the Forbidden City. Being carried wasn't just a matter of elegance, it was a strategic decision. Lifting her off the ground ensured she couldn't hide anything dangerous in her shoes or robes, minimizing the risk of assassination or betrayal. At the emperor's chamber, another inspection was conducted. No jewelry, ornaments, or accessories were allowed, as even the smallest item could conceal a blade or poison. The emperor's safety was paramount, and every precaution was taken to protect him. Once cleared, the concubine was gently laid on the imperial bed. Silence was mandatory unless the emperor spoke first, reinforcing the strict hierarchy of the palace. The concubine was a servant of the emperor's will, her role defined by duty rather than desire. The time spent with the emperor was strictly monitored, typically lasting about 1 hour. Outside the chamber, eunuchs stood ready to call out softly when the time was nearing its end. If there was no response, they would enter discreetly to ensure the emperor's safety. Every moment was structured to protect the ruler and maintain the palace's order. When the visit concluded, the concubine was wrapped in silk and carried back to her residence. She was not allowed to linger or speak, ensuring no single woman gained too much influence. The Imperial Harem was one of the most closely observed parts of court life. Every move a woman made was documented. Detailed records were kept not only of who spent time with the emperor, but for how long and when. If a child was conceived, this tracking helped ensure that the lineage of the imperial family was never in question. Even the most natural aspects of life were tracked. During menstruation, a concubine was forbidden from being selected, as it was believed to bring bad luck or interfere with the emperor's energy. To avoid embarrassment, women developed discreet methods of signaling their unavailability: gold rings, folded notes, red ribbons tied around their wrists, or red lanterns outside their doors. Yet, even this delicate system could be manipulated. Some ambitious concubines, desperate to gain favor, concealed their status and risked punishment. In response, eunuchs were ordered to keep track of menstrual cycles and monitor the health of each woman, adding yet another layer of control to their lives. Life in the palace could be beautiful, but also dangerous. The emperor's affection was powerful, too powerful. When one woman received too much of it, rivalries would grow. Political factions could form around favored concubines, creating tension, jealousy, and sometimes outright rebellion. One of the most dramatic stories in Chinese history occurred during the reign of the Jiajing Emperor. Obsessed with immortality, he forced concubines to assist in dangerous alchemical experiments, subjecting them to toxic potions. Many became ill, and some died. Eventually, a group of women, desperate to escape his cruelty, attempted to assassinate him. Their plan failed, and the punishment was severe. Those involved were executed with the harshest sentences known to imperial law. This dark chapter reminded the entire court that even in the most luxurious setting, the stakes could not be higher. Not all stories from the harem were acts of rebellion. Some were tales of love, loss, and the price of beauty. Yang Guifei, one of the most famous concubines in Chinese history, won the heart of Emperor Zhou during the Tang dynasty. Her beauty was legendary, and so was her influence. But her rise sparked jealousy, political unrest, and resentment from powerful officials. When the empire faced rebellion, the military blamed her and demanded her execution to save the throne. The emperor agreed, and Yang Guifei was taken to a temple where she died, whether by her own hand or under royal orders. No one knows for certain. Her story became legend, remembered in poems, paintings, and operas, not as a political figure, but as a woman caught in the tides of history, loved by an emperor, hated by the court, and remembered forever. The bedroom rituals of the imperial harem weren't just about ceremony. They were about control, legacy, and survival in a world where power was always at risk. Even moments of intimacy were orchestrated with caution and care. From silent corridors to carefully folded jade plaques, every detail spoke to a system where emotion was second to duty. The women of the harem were not just consorts. They were players in a high-stakes game of power, where every choice could elevate a family or bring it to ruin. Some women rose to become empresses, wielding influence behind the scenes, while others fell victim to the palace's intrigues. The harem was a microcosm of the empire itself, a place of beauty, ambition, and danger, where every step was calculated and every moment carried weight. The harem's influence extended beyond the emperor's chambers. It was a political institution in its own right, where alliances were forged and rivalries simmered. The women of the harem were often chosen from powerful families, their presence in the palace a way to secure loyalty from regional elites or noble clans. A concubine's success could elevate her family status, bringing wealth and influence, while her failure could spell disaster. This made the harem a battleground for political maneuvering, where every interaction carried weight. Eunuchs, too, played a critical role. As the emperor's most trusted servants, they wielded significant influence, often acting as intermediaries between the harem and the court. Some eunuchs amassed great power, using their access to the emperor to shape decisions or promote certain women. This dynamic created a complex web of relationships where trust was rare and betrayal was a constant risk. The harem was also a place of cultural richness. The women who lived there were often educated in the arts, music, and poetry, expected to entertain the emperor and enhance the court's prestige. Some concubines were skilled calligraphers, others masterful musicians, their talents adding to the palace's splendor. Yet, even these accomplishments were scrutinized, as a woman's success in the arts could elevate her status or draw unwanted attention. The harem was a world where beauty and talent were both a gift and a danger, where every achievement came with a price. The women who thrived in this environment were those who could navigate its complexities with grace and cunning. As we reflect on the Imperial Harem, it's clear that it was more than a place of beauty and ritual. It was a microcosm of the empire's power dynamics, where every action was laden with meaning and every choice carried consequences. The women of the harem, from concubines to empresses, were bound by tradition, yet many found ways to shape their own destinies. Some, like Empress Dowager Cixi, rose from the ranks of concubines to become one of the most powerful figures in Qing dynasty China, shaping the empire's fate through her intelligence and political acumen. Others, less fortunate, faded into obscurity, their names lost to time. But each woman, in her own way, contributed to the intricate tapestry of the imperial court. The rituals of the harem, from the selection of jade plaques to the silent journeys through the palace corridors, were designed to maintain order and protect the emperor's legacy. Yet, within these constraints, women found ways to exercise agency, whether through subtle manipulations, acts of defiance, or moments of profound loyalty. Their stories, preserved in historical records, poems, and legends, offer a window into a world that was both dazzling and dangerous. They remind us that history is not just about emperors and battles, but about the people, especially the women, who navigated complex systems to leave their mark. Today, the Imperial Harem remains one of the most fascinating aspects of Chinese history, a testament to the enduring power of human resilience and ambition. Let's take a moment to honor the women of the Imperial Harem. Their lives were defined by duty, but their stories are defined by courage. They faced unimaginable challenges, yet many found ways to shine. As we uncover their stories, we're reminded that history is full of lessons about strength, strategy, and survival. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the Forbidden City, and I'll see you in the next video.